G'day ladies and gents, and welcome to War Thunder with Mags. So, we haven't had a video up in a couple of days. I've had a couple of family things to do, and also patch 1.55 is out, as I'm sure you're now aware, and I'm in the process of grinding out a few vehicles, getting a few things set up so I can start showing you some of the content. Now, so far I will say that I've been enjoying patch 1.55. I've been enjoying it more than I have a lot of the patches in the past, but there have been some bugs. A few bugs that have transferred from patch 1.53, and of course, some new ones. Now, this is one of those bugs. That's what I'm going to be showing you today. I'm not showing you this as a way of having a dig with Gaijin. I've already put in a bug report about this. I'm sure many have. I just want to make sure people are aware that this is actually happening, and to keep your eye out for it so you can keep your replays put aside and report it yourself if it should happen to you. This bug first showed up in patch 1.53. It was fairly rare. My very first match in patch 1.55 in the air, I discovered this again. So it's still something that hasn't been wiped out, and it's a bit of a problem. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware at this time, in order to build a tactic against an opponent while engaging in air combat in realistic battles, you need to first locate your enemy. Simple enough. There's a spotting system, a marker system. Puts a big name and a big marker over the enemy plane so you can see where it is. But what happens when it lies to you? Now, I want you to pay careful attention to the bottom left hand corner of my screen as well. You'll see that I have no packet loss. So this isn't a packet loss issue. This is the aircraft rendering and marking system that was introduced in 1.53 just losing its mind. So, did you see it? Let me help you with that again. At the moment, as you can see on the left-hand side of my screen, we have Xander Cage in his F-80C. He's currently 19.5 kilometers away from my aircraft. And as you can see, according to the distance on him, he appears to be travelling away from my current location, heading back in the direction of his own base. Now, I keep him on screen. Now, at this point, he disappears for just a split second. And then he suddenly reappears just short of 12 kilometers away, about 10,000 feet lower altitude than he was previously at, getting ready to engage the Me-262 that is directly in front of me. So either American aircraft have been quietly upgraded with teleportation technology, or we're having a really serious issue with the spotting mechanics in War Thunder. But of course, I'd never show you a bug like this unless I could show it to you twice to show that it is something that is relatively common. Ahead of us right now we have an F-84 Thunderjet. It's about 17 kilometers out. It is pulling away from me at the moment. I am in pursuit of this F-84. I was just checking my 6, making sure everything was nice and clear. Keep watching it. He is the last aircraft on the enemy team. He disappears. And then he reappears only 11 kilometers away in the bottom right hand corner of my screen, engaged in a dogfight with 2 of my allied aircraft. So, first things to cover. Do I play on a high ping? Yeah. Ping could account for a couple of meters, maybe anywhere out to 10 meters on the pings that I'm showing. Difference between aircraft and aircraft movement. A little bit of rubber banding, a little bit of teleportation. Not 6 kilometers. Now, packet loss would explain it if I had a massive burst of that and I was seeing a ghost plane fly off into the distance, but as I pointed out at the start, watch the packet loss. I suffer no packet loss at all during this match. In fact, it's very rare for me to suffer packet loss at all. So to be clear on what's happened, in both cases the aircraft was at its correct location after it appeared to teleport. The F-80C was always at low altitude getting ready to engage the 262. This F-84 Thunderjet was always at low altitude, engaged in a dogfight with the remaining 2 members of my team. What the bug appears to be is the client getting confused and putting a marker for an aircraft that it knows is alive on the enemy team at a location and a set movement at a random point in the map, completely different from the location of the actual aircraft. Now, it only ever seems to happen when you are proximity spotting an aircraft. Once you get close enough to detect an aircraft yourself, the real location will be revealed. The reason this is a major problem is when you're maneuvering to engage an aircraft that's been proxy spotted by a member of your team. At the moment, well, I can honestly tell you, I can't be sure whether or not the aircraft that I am looking at is actually in the location that I think it is, or is in a completely separate location that I can't yet see. What's more worrying is that in both cases that I just demonstrated, the aircraft was heading in a different direction and was at extreme range in comparison to the location of the real aircraft, which means you may go chasing these ghosts off into the distance only to discover that there was nothing there to chase in the first place. Thankfully, the match did also provide me with a little bit of frustration relief. 50mm jet derp will always be the best derp. So anyways, ladies and gents, that's all this video was about. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of this particular little bug, so if you see it, keep your replay files, make sure you name them so you don't lose them, and be sure to report it, because this one sort of affects everybody who plays RB. I don't know if the issue is in arcade as well. I have no idea. I haven't tested arcade at all this patch, and I didn't really test it much last patch. It obviously doesn't affect simulation whatsoever. There is no markers in simulation, so you guys are fine. But anyway, save your replay files and make sure you report the bug. This is one that does affect us all. This is one that we really need to get squished. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.